Pronounce your last name. I'm gonna try to pronounce it. Joseph Anaskevich.
Actually, that is the actual 100% way to pronounce it.
Wow, I'm good.
Yes,
Okay,
you are.
Joseph, we are going to do a quick interview with you with the I Am a Vapor 2016 group project. I have several questions that I'm going to ask you. Ask as however long you want to take for each question. Answer as honestly as possible. And here we go. How long have you been vaping?
I actually started vaping. I actually started vaping about April of last year. Um, I started out with the VOM 06, the little 20-watt one, and then in July I upgraded from that to the Joytech ePic VT. So that was a really good mod. I loved it, and that's actually the one that initially started me to be completely tobacco free.
Okay.
Um, my when I got that one was July 13th of 15 actually, when I moved from Florida to Michigan.
Okay.
Um, Ever since that day, I've been completely tobacco free. Couldn't be happier, and I've never looked back a day because you realize like how much you save and everything, and it's just so much better.
Okay. What made you start vaping?
What originally made me start vaping is for several years, I had been trying to quit. I had tried everything from the patches to the gum to trying to quit cold turkey. Nothing worked. I Somebody told me long ago, if you're trying to quit, maybe get a bunch of candy. So I tried the whole candy remedy. That didn't work. I just gained weight. And so when I actually found vaping, it was actually really easy for me to quit. Um, I think I went like about a week to 2 weeks going back and forth between vaping and cigarettes before I upgraded. And then once I upgraded, I just dropped it all together. A couple months after that, my one of my good friends was like, we were driving in a car, we were going to pick up a friend from an airport, and he's like, "Hey, I know you're trying to quit smoking, but can you light me a cigarette?" I said, "Yeah, I'll light it for you." I went to go light it, and I instantly threw it out the window. And I was like, "Dude, you're gonna have to light your own cigarettes." I said, "This is absolutely disgusting." People don't realize that when you start vaping, a couple weeks after, all the taste buds that had previously been in your mouth lost before have come back. And you start learning all the flavors that you've been missing out on your entire life or however long you've been smoking. It's just so much comes back that you don't realize because people take it for granted.
Very true. Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 20. I'll be 27 in July.
Okay. Um, what is the best thing that's happened to you since you have started vaping?
The best thing that's ever happened to me since I started vaping is I got my personal hygiene back.
Okay.
I don't go around smelling like an ashtray all day. My clothes don't reek of cigarette and tar. Um, I don't have that same like feeling that I did like when I was at work or whatever, and I'd go smoke a cigarette on break, and then I'd come back in and dealing with customers. I know that they don't have to smell that god awful smell. So, like, to be honest, like, yeah, personal hygiene. You don't stink, your teeth don't turn yellow. Your teeth start getting white again. And to me, that's been like the biggest plus. On top of being able to get my energy back, not being winded when I go out to the end of the driveway just to check the mail or whatever it may be. Um, it's just it's a great amount of things that you gain back when you quit smoking. There's just so much that you can gain that you don't realize that you've lost because you've been smoking for so long. You've just you adapted to it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. What is the worst thing that's happened to you since you've been vaping?
Honestly, The worst thing that's happened to me was when I first started. You know, everybody's going to be judgmental. You know, there's always there's different cliques out there. Well, you know, it's like Kate said. If you're a vapor, you're a vapor. It doesn't matter if you run .04 builds or 2.5 builds. It doesn't matter if you're on a little E-stick fuse or if you're on a Sigelli 150. It absolutely does not matter. A vapor is a vapor, you know. And being judged by the people that smoke or even people that don't smoke. When some of them think, well, if you're going to do that, you might as well just pick up smoking. And deep in my head, I sit there and think, no, because what you're doing is actually killing the environment. What I'm doing is not. What I'm doing is actually making me healthier. What you're doing is actually killing you.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. How does your family and friends feel about you vaping?
My whole house vapes.
Your whole house vapes.
My
Awesome.
whole house vapes. My best friend that I moved up here with from Florida, he's the one that originally got me into vaping in the first place. He ended up coming up to the house in which we live in now, and they showed it to him. When he came back down to Florida, he bought one of the Vamo 6s. I liked it, figured I'd give it a try, so that's when I originally got into it. But in this house, it's me, my best friend's boyfriend's girlfriend, and her dad. Like we all vape. Um, you know, it's the house. It's always smells like you got Febreze everywhere. You know, so like like everybody up here that I live with, you know, it's been like a really supporting, you know, experience. The older guy that we live with, which is my best friend's brother's girlfriend's dad, he actually built his own coils. So like if I ever need any help building a coil or something like that, you know, he's there to help. So I mean that's been pretty helpful as well. You know, but yeah, as far as my family, my mom knows I vape. I've been trying to tell her that she needs to quit, but she just doesn't want to put in the effort, and I'm hoping I can change that soon. Because I lost my father March 24th of 2011. He is 47 years old, and he had a massive stroke. And if you ask me, 47 years old is a little too early to go out, so I don't want to end up losing my mother at the same time. So I'm trying to get her to quit smoking, and at least if she's going to do anything, not quit cold turkey or quit at all, at least pick up vaping as a healthier alternative.
Okay. Let me ask you, if you go to the doctor, how does your doctor feel about you vaping?
I went to the doctor one time since I started vaping. Um, they asked me if I smoked. I was like, no, but I vape. And when he was going through the physical and everything, and I said that, his eyes lit up like he was actually happy at the fact that I don't smoke cigarettes and the 4,000 chemicals that are pretty much in each one, you know. So like he was pretty happy about that.
Okay. And you said you do have family and friends that do smoke or have smoked in the past. Let me ask this question: if they smoke, do they vape? Do you have some that vape now? Correct.
Correct.
How about family? Do you have a family that vape now?
No. Hopefully I can change that though.
Okay, the ones that still smoke, do they have medical problems?
Well, high blood pressure runs in my family, which is another reason why I don't want to lose my mom, because smoking, as you know, or most people know, it increases it thickens your blood and causes blood clots. So, with the high blood pressure that runs in my family, I'm like really like what's the word I'm looking for?
Animate?
Yes, thank you. Um, about trying to get my mom to switch because I know it'll prolong her life and this, that, and my mom. You know, my mom was born 7/15/68, so she's still relatively young. You know, she's still got a lot of years ahead of her. You know, nobody wants to lose their mom. You know, or
Okay, that is correct. Nobody does. what would you do if the regulations pass and it makes vaping harder?
If all the hype about like the regulations, and all the taxes that we're hearing and everything like that, and they go through and whatnot. When I started vaping, I started it. I'm not gonna lie, I started at like 18 milligrams nicotine, and like I said, that was when I started and converted into July. I was at the 18. I'm down to 6. Um, Even my roommate told me the other day, she's like, Joe, she says, I've noticed that you can go hours and hours and hours and not even hit your vape. So for me, if it passes and they want to sit there and tax and all that kind of stuff, I could easily drop down to a 0 milligram without a problem. But not everybody can.
Right.
I think that, if those regulations do pass, I think they're just rushing into it and not doing all their complete research that they need to, just so they can honestly get some more money. That's how I feel.
Okay. How well do you think the community stands together about vaping?
The community is like where I'm at, or like the community in general.
The community in general.
The vaping community has grown massively over the years from, even my short time of vaping. I've seen a tremendous number of increased vapors in the 1 year that I've been vaping almost. I have a smoke shop right up the street from me. It's called Wild Bill's. I used to go there every day. You meet some wonderful and amazing people when you step out of your element. A lot of the people that vape, they're doing it for a reason, whether it be medical problems, whether it be trying to quit, whether it be some people just want to do it because they think it looks cool. It's a whole different world, and I think a lot of the vapors do stick together, more so than some others. But like the entire vaping community as itself as a whole has grown, like I said, tremendously in just the year that I've been vaping.
Okay. What is your feelings about standing up against the FDA and legislations that are being made against the vaping and the vaping community?
I have no problem with it. I feel we have to fight for what we want.
Okay, so you don't.
And
oh, sorry.
If enough vapors band together and push the issue and whatnot like that, then maybe we can get it to where it's not so rough on us. It only takes one person, and that one person could be anybody watching this video right now. So I mean, I have no problem standing up for what I believe in and what I know personally. Just from experiencing it, the health gains that I've gotten back. I used to be 360 pounds, so I mean, I was I was up there in medical stuff, and I dropped a lot of weight. And, it's been a wonderful ride. I feel if you truly believe in it, then you should stand up for it.
So you're saying you're not afraid to stand up against the FDA, big tobacco, big pharma, and legislation.
That is correct.
What do you think our biggest strategy would be against them?
Honestly, it's like case said, numbers. Like I said, we need all the vapors that are out there need to be informed. And, by informed could be something as little as you reading something on the internet from something and passing it along. Or it could be me reading something and passing it to you. Okay, every little bit of information that comes through from whether it be vaping or medical exams or any kind of like diagnosis of like vaping in general, any information can help. So I think like numbers and Just getting the word out there and actually getting it to do what needs to be done is going to be the best strategy.
Do you try to follow your state regulations as much as possible, like vaping in public and things like that? And what are your thoughts about it?
I very much do so, because in the same way that it only takes one person that could like push everything back. That one person could also ruin it for everybody. It could be that one person that sits there and goes into a restaurant and sits at a table that's slapped full of people, and the entire restaurant just starts vaping. And how's that really going to look? It's like it takes one person either way you look at it. If you're going to vape or you're going to smoke, there are guidelines that you do need to follow. But in the same sense, like, you shouldn't be restricted in like your house or your car and stuff like that.
Have you ever lost anyone to vaping or to smoking? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know personally, but I like contribute this. When I lost my father, like I said, he was 47. And he had a massive stroke, and he was almost a two pack a day smoker. So, and when he had the stroke, he was honestly laying on the couch eating a peanut butter sandwich, watching TV. So, like, in my opinion, like, I know it's not like, wasn't like fully there to determine, but in my head, smoking had a lot to do with it. And, I'm pretty sure that, that's what it was, because, 47 years old, like I said, it's really young. There is no reason why your first stroke of your life should kill you. Never had a heart attack, nothing, just done.
How do you believe would be the best way to get the word out that vaping is better than smoking to those that don't believe us?
Honestly, something similar to the project that you're running right now. Whereas you get people that actually vape, people that have noticed a change, people that have personally experienced what's good and what's bad about it. Just trying to get the word out there, trying to, pass it along. People, you could be sitting at your house and, you'll have like a Jehovah's Witness come up to your door and they're trying to sell you, like, preach to you about like God and everything like that. It's almost like that. Like, if you go out of your way, even to step up one person a day, or even one person a week that you see doesn't vape, and you just start talking to them, who knows, you could be that one person that changed them from cigarettes to vaping. And not only that, you could have just saved their life.
Now, this is the last question. Do you have any last words of advice for those that think vaping is bad and for those that need to stand up and fight for our vaping rights?
Honestly, I feel if you feel vaping is bad, then maybe you should go and do your research on your own. They're like, I seen the other day, there was these two guys, and they had two water bottles that had probably an inch to inch and a half of water in each one. One guy was smoking a cigarette, one guy was vaping. They simultaneously blew their smoke into one bottle each, completely filled the bottle with smoke, put the cap on it, and shook it till the water had basically dissipated all of the smoke or vapor in the bottles. When it was done, lo and behold, the one that had the vapor in it from the e-cig, the water was crystal clear. Looked like it hadn't even been touched straight from the faucet. Whereas the one from the cigarette was all cloudy and murky. So, to people out there that don't vape, that are trying to quit, maybe you aren't trying to quit. Maybe you just want to save money. They should need to do their research on vaping. It could save their life. It could save them money. It could save them in general. There's a lot of pros to vaping. Each cigarette has want to say anywhere from 4 to 6,000 chemicals in each cigarette, including tar.
Right.
Okay, whereas vaping has, I believe, 4. And I do want to say this, that a lot of people feel that being that PG, being the flavor carrier in your vape juice, which is propylene glycol, a lot of people think that that's actually the main thing to like antifreeze, but they're wrong. Diethylene glycol is what's in antifreeze. Propylene glycol is what's in like your albuterol inhalers for like your asthma attacks and stuff like that. So I would strongly advise people to go and do some like research on it if you're not sure, or talk to people that have vaped and, like I said, had experienced it themselves.
And what about what would you say to those that need to stand up and fight for our vaping rights?
I would say go for it. Like I said, if you truly believe in it, you should stand up for it. You know, if it's what we believe in as a community or what we believe in as a big group, why are we just going to sit here and do nothing and watch what we believe in and watch what has helped so many people save their lives, save their medical issues, watch it all get taken away? Why should we sit here and do nothing?
Sure. Well, Joseph, I do thank you for doing this interview with me today.
I do thank you for allowing me to be here.
And as you know, this will be put up on YouTube probably sometime later today, or as soon as I get off, I'll be starting to put it on YouTube.
Okay.
And I also thank you for joining the group. I am a Vaper 2016.
Glad to be here.
I see it doing a lot of good things. So do it's a lot of people. And thank you again.
Not a problem. Thank you.